So what's good, YouTube family? Just wanted to give you a little background about me. A lot of you don't really know me and who I am. I'm Prince Malachi. I'm the founder and CEO of the Oracle magazine. And let you know a little bit about how I got into Christian hip-hop. So I got into Christian hip-hop around 1997, 98, somewhere around there. And really, I was listening to a lot of, secular hip-hop, and, I was involved in church, and I was actually involved in youth ministry at my church. Shout out to New Mount Calvary Baptist Church in Los Angeles. And, so I was feeling like, I need to really get into listening to something else, something that was a little more uplifting. And so there was a bookstore in Long Beach called the Lighthouse Christian Bookstore. And that's where I really first discovered Christian hip-hop, at that bookstore. And they had a few CDs that I kind of happened to borrow. One was like a group called the Unity Clan. And then there was a bunch of stuff by a label called Grapetree Records. Now that's old school. You got to be old school to know who Grapetree Records was. Grapetree Records was like the Christian version of No Limit. Their covers looked like No Limit covers, and then they kind of had the same model of No Limit. But to keep it real with you, I really wasn't feeling Grapetree like that. But I kind of forced it because I felt like I needed to be listening to something else. So, I bought CDs and I listened to them, and I would listen to them on Sundays before church. Mom's was listening to her gospel or whatever, and I'm, listening to all these Grapetree joints. And like I said, I was forcing it. I really didn't like them like that. I know some of you will say, yeah, but Little Raz was dope, and so was dope. Prime Minister. It was just like alright to me. But that changed when two things happened. First of all, I was introduced to the Cross movement. Their first album was called Heaven's Mentality. And I found that at the Lighthouse on tape. And that really opened me up. Because then that was the point where I said, okay, this is Christian, but it sounds like, some other stuff. It sounded like Wu-Tang or whatever. So there was that. And then there was this other brother that I kind of met named Marshall. Marshall was actually a rapper who did mixtapes, and he had this little Christian hip-hop ministry where he would hit the streets and minister to people and pass out not only his own mixtapes, but actually he passed out copies of other people's albums to kind of introduce Christian hip-hop to people. So I would actually hit the streets with him, and through him I was introduced to Know the Verbs, and I was introduced to a project called Mark of the East. And Mark of the East is, for me, is listed like top 3 Christian hip-hop albums of all time. It's one of my top 3 Christian hip-hop albums. That album is dope. If you don't have it, you need to get that joint. Now, it's rare, it's hard to find, but you need that in your life. That album actually features Coy Red and MC Precise before they were even a group. And a whole bunch of other new East Coast artists. It's real boom bap East Coast sounding, but that album was legit. So after I was introduced to those joints, I was like, okay, this is something I can really get into. And fast forward a couple of years, I actually moved to Tallahassee, Florida. When I moved to Tallahassee, Florida, I got a job with a Christian bookstore called Lifeway. And I ended up being the stockroom manager. So I would, receive all the new product for the store. And, man, I found all these albums. A lot of them albums didn't even hit the shelves because I would save them for myself. And that's when I was introduced to Uprock. Shout out to Josh. People don't know this about Josh. Josh runs Sphere of Hip Hop right now, but he used to run Uprock. And Uprock was, in my opinion, one of the dopest, if not the dopest, Christian hip hop labels there ever was. y'all know Reach right now, but Uprock was that deal. Because Uprock, what happened was Uprock had the Tunnel Rats. They put out Mars Ill's. They re-released Mars Ill's first album, Raw Material. All those Tunnel Rat joints, a lot of classic albums, came out through Uprock. Josh is really, he doesn't get enough credit. He is responsible for releasing a lot of classic hip hop joints. So yeah, especially all those Tunnel Rat joints, they put out like 6, 7 albums, something like that, and I copped all of them. I was actually also introduced to Deep Space 5 through Lifeway, and who else? Shadow of the Locust. Shout out to Dirt. Sidebar: Dirt and I actually became real good friends, and we haven't really talked in a while, but we became real cool friends. So shout out to Dirt, Shadow of the Locust. So yeah, that's about it, and that brings me to where I am now. That's how I basically became a Christian hip hop fan. The music, the era, the music. It's funny because the music has evolved, but then it kind of went backwards at the same time. Like now, the production is better. I would say the mastering and stuff like that is better, but we're still not putting out quality product, if that makes sense. So I like to see us get back to the heart. I guess, same thing with secular hip hop. But I like to see us get back to the heart and passion of hip hop, like doing this thing really just for the love of it. Yeah. So anyway, that's it. Shout out to Josh and all those old school artists. If you have any questions, hit me up. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I'm trying to build up my YouTube channel, so hit that subscribe button, share, and let people know about me. I'm once again Prince Malachi, the Oracle Mag, oraclemag.com, and our goal is to expose you to Christian hip hop and also news, sports, and we on our grind. So hit us up. Peace.